change the answer.
Exactly.
And the answer makes you live longer, look better, happier. And a lot of people, it's not about you. It's about saying it to someone else and make them smile.
Exactly right.
I'm trying to get on the Ellen show. Anyone out there who knows Ellen? Ellen, this is the perfect delivery method for your closing statement. Every day you say, be kind to one another. When you tell someone you're fantastic, you're being kind to them because you made them smile, which made them live longer, which made them look better, which made them happy. That's a kind thing. I think that's a kind thing. So and even if you're feeling lousy, why would you tell anyone you're feeling lousy? What good does that do?
Well, just sharing, because that's just going to make them feel lousy. You know,
it's sharing negativity.
It's contagious.
Negativity is a disease. It's cancer. Negative people are cancerous. I tell people, get rid of negative people in your life. Get rid of negative thinking. Only focus on the positive.
I mean, I think that keeps most of smart, intelligent, hardworking people in situations that they don't think that they deserve to be in. Right. And the reason why they're in those situations, because they work probably hard enough, they're smart enough, they could be in a better situation, but they have a whole bunch of people around them that are extremely negative.
Right.
And those people are definitely just tearing them down.
Yeah.
And they use it, it's like, I find negative people use positive people as like a light source.
Oh, sure.
You know.
They're attracted to the flame. Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah,
but they also kind of like team up too. It's so much like, it's kind of like a thing in our society too, where it's kind of like a lot of people default as like the cool thing to talk shit. You know, like, that thing sucks. Oh, did you see that movie? Yeah, it sucked. It was terrible. You know, and it's just like, because it's like, you know, misery loves company, they say.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So I think that's another thing, too, is by being that super positive, enthusiastic, fantastic person, you're going to repel those people like the plague.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like, if you put yourself out there and let your light shine, they can only take so much of that. You know, so that's how you're going to get rid of those negative people, which is going to allow you to attract more
Have you been to a
positive
small town before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been to small towns, big towns.
The mentality's completely different.
Oh, definitely. People are, you know, well, even here in Marina Del Rey, I mean, it's not, you know, it's in a bigger city in LA, but I find this has kind of got the smaller town feel. People always say hi to each other and stuff like that.
Okay.
You go a little bit out of here, though, no one says nothing.
Well, I'll agree to disagree with you, because in my building, which is two streets over.
So the miserable over there, you got to move down a block. You got to move down a block.
But no, what I'm saying is, this one woman told me she goes in the elevator in her building with one of her neighbors.
Yeah.
Because we don't know her neighbors, right?
Yeah.
And she'll say hello, and they won't say hello back. Not all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, what kind of person wouldn't say hello back?
Yeah.
They don't deserve to live in Marina Del Rey.
No, because that's the thing about Marina Del Rey that I like, is that everyone actually says hello and addresses each other.
Okay.
See, like where I'm from Hartford, Connecticut originally.
Okay.
And it's a little bit more, people are a little bit more like, I guess, skeptical, or like trying to feel like someone's like out to get them, you know, and it might be the cold weather, or I don't know what it is, but if some stranger was just to come up to you and like be happy and say hi to you, they'd be like, "What the fuck's wrong with that guy?"
Sounds like New York.
He's a weirdo. No, yeah, definitely. Well, I live only like 45 minutes from New York City, so it's pretty much like I grew up in New York. So yeah, that whole area is like that. Which I find interesting, you know, because people are like, "Oh, that guy's a weirdo," and now they're nice people. Don't get me wrong; it's not like they're mean people. They're all sweet.
They're in their cocoon.
They're
in their little world.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh
blinders.
my god, that guy's a little weirdo. Like, why does he want to say hi to me?" And it's like, maybe he just wants to say hi. Maybe he thinks you're awesome, you know. And I think that's the thing too, is that people got to be careful of you know, understand that what you subconsciously think about yourself, you're gonna feel like other people feel about you, and vice versa.
Right.
What you feel about other people subconsciously, you're gonna start to think about yourself.
Yeah.
So we're mirrors to each other. So if you constantly, like, you know, if someone says hi to you and all of a sudden you feel like they're like or if they look at you and you think they're seeing something negative, you know, like, why is that guy looking at me? Like, maybe because you're fly, you know, maybe because you're looking cool, you know, maybe that's why they're looking at you. Maybe, you know, but I think people take that offensively sometimes, especially when they're insecure. You know, they think like, oh, what?
Well, that's called assumption, and it's one of the 4 agreements. Have you read the book, The 4 Agreements?
Actually, I like that book.
Do not make assumptions.
Yes.
And the other thing we were saying on is, don't let what other people say about you matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Nothing matters, you know.
Well, because they're looking at it from their point of perspective, and honestly,
Exactly.
most of what they're
it's not
saying,
about you.
No, most of what they're saying is actually about them.
Exactly.
Which is actually really interesting when you start to realize that about people's conversations. Like the first person to accuse you of wasting their time is the one that wasted everyone's time.
Person who doesn't trust you
is
the one you can't trust.
Everybody. Yeah, if they can't trust you off the bat, it's not you. Don't take it personally. It's just because that guy's used to screwing everybody, so he thinks the majority of people are screwing
him. Yeah.
Yep. So that's
a big mirror. It's a big reflection.
Yeah, and I think understanding that is, and that's where the be fantastic thing comes in, is be that mirror for someone else, a fantastic mirror. You know, be that reflection, because that's what we are for each other. That's what we're here to do, is be that reflection. So if you're gonna be, if you are a mirror, what do you want to reflect? You know, do you want to reflect positivity and making people's lives better, bringing a smile to someone, or do you want to bring darkness and disorder and chaos and making people feel miserable? You know.
And again, it starts with the person. I always felt that when it came time to vote for the president, my vote really didn't count. It's one friggin' vote.
Yeah.
But now I relate that to this movement. If everyone starts being fantastic and being positive and kind and friendly and polite, you know, and opening doors for people and letting people in traffic, we're going to create a whole dynamic.
You're going to love this, Doctor. Fantastic. So there's a story. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. When they were testing nuclear bombs, they did some testing off the coast of Hawaii. It was like this little remote island off the coast of Hawaii, and there was a bunch of monkeys on this island. So they were blowing up these nuclear bombs, testing them out, whatever, and the radiations and what the side effects and all that were. Well, so they had a bunch of coconut trees on the island, and those coconut trees got radiation poison. Now the monkeys, they ate those coconuts to survive. So some of the monkeys, they would go get the coconuts. Some of them would wash the coconuts in the water, and the ones that washed their coconuts would survive. The ones that didn't would die. Okay? So some of the monkeys were living, some of the monkeys were dying. Now, they didn't have to get every monkey to start washing their coconuts to get them all to wash coconuts. They just had to get to 100. They call it getting to the 100th monkey. As soon as they got to the 100th monkey washing his coconuts, all the other monkeys simultaneously started washing their coconuts. So you don't have to, even with, to relay it back to the Be Fantastic movement, so you don't have to get everyone to do it. You just got to get enough.
Right.
And then everyone else will just fall in line and just start, beating to the drum.
Well,
So I think this drum that we're beating to right now is just that melodrama, the moaner,
Right.
the moaner drum.
Right.
So you get enough people that's on that other side, the moaners are going to start feeling uncomfortable, like they're the outcasts
Right.
now, and they're going to
I
want to
love
come
that.
over and
I
be
love
part
that.
of it.
I love what you're saying. We have 1,338 or something around there right now as of today in the movement. And I told someone the other day, I said, my first goal is to get 1 million. And he said, million? We need a lot more than that. I said, but a journey of 1,000 miles begins with but a single step. So at 1 million, I'll analyze it and say, okay, because that means it's gone a little bit viral. And then there's 10 million, and there's 100 million. But if nothing else from this movement is when you drive in a big city and everyone starts letting you in traffic, it'll mean the movement has spread to everyone, and you're going to say, that person's fantastic. Because when you let someone in traffic, it takes 2 seconds out of your life. 2 seconds. Makes you feel great.
Yep.
Makes them feel great. Sometimes they don't say thank you. Okay. But it makes you feel great. And if everyone starts doing that, could you imagine?
Well, yeah. And you don't do it for the thank you. You do it because it makes you feel good.
Because it makes you feel good.
It's funny. Another real quick story. One of my mentors, Jim Rohn, always told me. He said, the shoe shine boy. He gives you the world's best all-time shoe shine. Okay. He says you go to think about, should I tip him 1 quarter or 2 quarters? He says always go with 2 quarters and be the 2 quarter person. Okay, so whenever you pick 2 amounts, right, always go with the bigger amount and be the bigger person. Okay, that's the principle. But then he said, you don't do it for them. You don't do it for the shoe shine boy. You do it for you.
You felt you're giving them more.
The way it makes you feel. Like you're gonna think about every time you look at your nice shoe shine and it's a beautiful shoe shine. You're like, 1 lousy quarter. That's all I could do for this shoe shine.
Right.
So it's just
it's
passing
giving.
that on and giving. Being
nice and kind and polite and friendly, and we need to bring that back to society.
It's just the act of giving. You receive. Just in the act of giving, you receive.
Yes.
And it might not be anything tangible. It might not be anything physical.
I try to tell people not to look at it as a result based, like you're just saying. When you're driving down the road, and let's say you're going to an interview, a job interview, and someone needs to get in, and you don't let them in, and it turns out the guy that you're interviewing with, you just screwed yourself. Now, conversely, you let that guy in, he gets to work, you show up. You're the person to let me in.
You should handle every situation like that.
Everything
should be like that. Like how I like to look at it.
Not looking for the results. Look for yourself.
Exactly. And I look at it like that. Like I never would want to do anything that my mom wouldn't be proud if she saw it on the front page of the paper.
Exactly.
I always think about that. Like
that's a good one.
If my mom saw this in the paper, would she be fucking upset?
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh well, if she would, then no, that's not for me.
Right.
So I think that's goes back to what you're saying there.
So just so you know, I'm developing an app. It's going to come out in a couple weeks, and everyone who's fantastic hopefully will download the app. It's free, and it's going to be a community of like-minded human beings.
That's a good idea.
And
so kind of like a social media platform.
It's going to be a whole about positive people, and people and we're going to have ambassadors of positivity. Aren't you an ambassador of positivity? What number were you?
I'm not sure. You got.
I only have 16 of them.
No, maybe I didn't make the cut.
Maybe you didn't agree. I think you're on the list of and we'll figure out a
I
number.
don't know which number I am now.
But there's only 16 of us so far. In that app, you're going to have a link as an ambassador to positivity on what you're into. So I'm promoting you because you're promoting the goodness for the world.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hopefully tens of thousands
Of
of ambassadors, because I don't want to say I can't do it alone. I can. It's going to take a hell of a long time.
No, yeah,
but I need
powers in numbers.
people like yourself, like the 135 people that I interviewed on my podcast, which is off the chart. I'm very proud of that. I mean, it's nothing but talking to motivational speakers, scientists,
Well, like I said,
leaders.
what you focus on grows.
Exactly.
You know, that's what you focus on doing. You're focused on bringing positivity, interviewing awesome people, and it just goes. You know, too many people I think spend the time as like, you know, they're waiting to get perfect before they start.
Right.
You know, and it's just like no one's.
Or they're rushing to red lights.
Or they're rushing to red lights. Exactly. In a hurry to go nowhere. You know,
they're passing by life.
And this is one thing too I want you guys to realize too, is that when you kind of go against the grain a little bit, where you take a left rather than when everyone else takes a right, like when you go out during the middle of the day rather than at 5 o'clock when everyone else is, you don't have to wait in line. Like you can go and do things, you never wait in a line. Like there's a large bulk of people that spend their whole time waiting at red lights and then waiting in line and then waiting here and waiting for dinner and waiting everywhere. While there's this fraction of people that never have to wait anywhere because they're just moving when you're waiting in line.
Right.
You know? Like, see, me personally, I never go out around like 5 to 7 o'clock because I